Good morning. I know that many of you have stayed home, but we have 4 brave souls here who came by dog sled, and it's the first snow of the winter 2022, and we're all thinking, it's so beautiful. And it is, but wow, what an important time to think about our feet. And just before we get started working on our feet, which are the wheels of the body, if you don't own a pair of crampons, that's what I'm calling them, seriously, if I'd had these on last year, I wouldn't have been in pain for 2 months, falling down on the ice. But I didn't know there was ice. It was just a thin layer of snow. They're kind of irritating if you go inside, and they're kind of irritating to walk, but they're far less irritating than falling on your butt, okay? So they're widely available. I highly recommend them. Now, we're going to start actually sitting in a chair, and I'm going to grab one of your blocks. I love how you pick the colors that you love wearing. Yeah. Now, there are options here, but actually I wanted to start with a ball, by the way. So grab something, because imagine that your ankles, I shouldn't take the best one, should I? Here. You need to be sitting in something, although I'm going to stand for a moment. Does tech guy have a ball to roll the soles of his feet? Now, you could do this standing up if you like, but I want you to roll over the fascia. Now, your plantar fascia starts at your heel, and it goes all the way to your toes. Anybody who's had the problem probably knows, yeah, I know, Joey. And I was going to say, everybody. So you can either stand or sit, but we're trying to bring some liveliness to an area of the body that clearly supports all of our body weight, walks on hard surfaces. So being barefoot, by doing yoga in bare feet, you start activating a whole lot more of your muscles in your feet. Now, there are 26 bones in 1 foot. 2 feet is 52 bones. There's only 206 bones in your entire body. That means 1/4 of the bones in your body are in your foot. Now, good thing. And so if you haven't changed feet yet, please do the other foot. I hope you have something at home. You've got a can of Campbell's soup to roll your foot over. That's not as good as a ball. I did mention in the note to have something that you could roll your foot over. Feel the fascia. You're bringing some life to this area. And if you're sitting in a chair, I want you to sit as tall as possible. And if you're standing, we need to stand tall. Okay? So you got the drift. This isn't a one-time thing, Think about it, do it frequently. Now, next up, please stand up. We're gonna do something called mindful walking. It can be a meditation, but that's not the point. We have no destination in walking. What I'm gonna ask you to do, and this is what I want you to pay attention to this week, is the mechanics of the foot. So when you take a step, the first step you take a step, it's your heel, right? And then the entire foot becomes flat on the floor. Now, you can think about your back foot, but I don't want you to. I want you to focus on that front foot, your entire foot. Now you're coming up onto the ball of the foot, and what propels you is the big toe. The big toe does twice as much work as all the rest of the toes. So now take your next step. Focus on your heel. Then your entire foot, contacting the floor, then coming onto the ball and noticing the big toe, which is going to propel you forward. So the steps do not need to be big. You're not going anywhere. This is being very intentional, paying attention to your foot. It doesn't matter where you go, okay? You're not going anywhere, but you are noticing. And if you're trying to do this quickly, not gonna work. 33 joints in your foot. Any two bones that join create a joint. I'm not talking about the stuff the government sells. And there are hundreds of muscles, ligaments, and tendons that support the bones and the joints of the foot. Now, feet, of course, are all about moving us forward in life. And hey, I've had plenty of fear in my life about any number of things, and it can keep us stuck. But you know what? If we were supposed to be stationary, we would have gotten roots instead of feet. Okay, so you kind of get this idea. I just want you to really appreciate the mechanics, the biomechanics of walking. And if you're feeling something in your feet, and if you have an area of your foot that's bothering you and you just have done everything you can think of to try to heal it, send me a note. Let me look up if there might be something else going on. Okay, I'm happy to do that. I've got my shiatsu foot massage here today, and the person who tried it said, "Ooh, I'm feeling something in my left heel." Well, I'm going to go home and look that up. But I'm not going to share it with everybody unless you have a left heel issue too. Okay, that will do. Next up, with your block, hey, if you don't have a block, just put your foot up against a wall, and I want you to stretch your toes. Okay, so put your foot up against a block or up against a wall and stretch those toes. Now, yeah, if you have socks on, it would be a good time to at some point, remove them. Stretching, stretching, stretching. So, we shove our feet into shoes, especially in the wintertime. Man, I love the summertime for setting my feet free. And then change. Now, flat feet are something you could be born with. Fallen arches, something that usually is a structural issue, and over time, it can get worse. So, therefore, this practice is really important, because when we have fallen arches, obviously the knees, the hips, the whole structural alignment of your body essentially is out of alignment. It's like the wheels on your car. When they're out of alignment, the steering wheel shakes. It just doesn't feel right. Okay, so that's another. Now, wow, can you feel your toes? Are they alive, tingly? Okay, so next up, with your feet about hip width apart, that means your heels are lining up with your sits bones. Every once in a while, too, when you're sitting on a chair, put your fingers under there and feel those things. Like if you're sitting on a chair, because I know this is another topic, but if you're sitting forward or backward on your sits bones and not right on the tips of them, then you're not honoring the proper posture. Okay, so while we're standing here with our feet about 1 fist width apart, the outsides of your feet parallel with the outsides of your mat, lift your toes off the floor. We've done this many times. Now, this engages a lot of your muscles in your ankles and your shins, your calves, even your thighs. So it's just great to do this. Plus, if you close your eyes, feel your big toe mounts, your baby toe mounts. Now, I like to talk about the center of the heel, the front of the heel, but lots of times in yoga too, they'll talk about the outer edges of the heel. And I find by closing our eyes that we are able to really focus on what's touching the ground. Okay, lay your toes back down. Now, keep your toes engaged on the floor, but I want you to roll out. Now, roll out onto the sides of your feet. So that's supination. And supinators have a tendency to maybe injure I don't want to say they have a tendency, but if we supinate, there's more of a chance you're going to injure your ankle if you supinate, okay? Also to outer knee. However, roll in now and roll in onto the inner edges of your feet. If that's something that you do, then you have a chance of having plantar fasciitis issues and inner knee issues. What we want is balance, so come into the center. In fact, rock forwards and backwards, forwards and backwards, and find your center. Find your center, your middle balance. And then hold it for a moment. Absolutely hold it. So getting our feet just right in Tadasana really is the basics for most asanas. Are you feeling any lift in your arch? Think about drawing your inner thighs up. Now, I know that if you press into the outside of your feet, you will feel a lift in your arch. Some of us are blessed with really high arches, and therefore we need to wear different kinds of shoes. I know that when I've worked in modeling that the girls with high arches wear stilettos like we wear flip-flops. They need it. Okay, so from here, with your feet fully rooted and grounded, let's move into half sun salutations. Inhale, sweep the arms up and overhead, turn the palms out. Exhale, feel your feet rooted and grounded as you swan dive, bending your knees, bringing your torso onto your thighs, fingertips tented on the floor. And then let's lift the hips up, stretching the back of the legs, inhaling, let your head hang, exhaling, bend your knees a lot. Come into that tuck position, press your shoulders back, inhale, sweep the arms out to the side, reaching up, feel your feet rooted and grounded. Exhale, turn the palms out, float your arms down, taking up lots of space. Inhale. Turn the palms out, exhale. Fingertips tented on the floor, and then inhale, let your head hang, feel the stretch in the backs of your legs. Let the weight of your head stretch your neck out. Exhale, bend your knees, drop your hips, shoulders back, lengthen spine. Inhale, sweep the arms out to the side as you reach them up and overhead. Exhale, turn the palms out, float the arms down. Synchronize the movement with your breath. Inhale, exhale. Fingertips tented. Inhale, try to keep your belly glued to your thighs. Let your head hang. Feel the stretch in the backs of your legs. Really relax your head. Give it a shake if you're not sure. Exhale, bend your knees. Drop your hips, shoulders back. Inhale, sweeping up, palms come together. Turn the palms out, float the arms down. Last time. Inhale, feel your feet. Turn the palms out, exhale, fingertips on the floor. Inhale, let your head hang. Take hold of your elbows. Keep your knees soft, let your head hang. And breathe. I hope your feet are feeling happy this morning. Okay, bend your left leg. Drop your hands now. So you're bending your left leg, your right is straight. Place your left hand on your right instep. Inhale, sweep the other arm up, twisting, turning, reaching, warming up the spine. Exhale, float that arm down. Bend your right leg, straighten your left. Place your right hand on your opposite left instep. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, float the arm down, bend your knees, tuck your chin into your chest, slowly roll up, one vertebra at a time. Let your head be the last thing to come up. Okay, inhale the shoulders up, exhale, roll them back, interlock your fingers behind your back, squeeze your shoulder blades together. Inhale, looking up, keep your knees soft. Exhale, release your arms and bend over and come on down onto your knees. Now, if your knees need extra cushioning, remember you can fold your mat and create extra cushioning for your knees. Okay, fun part, not. Curl your toes under. You knew this was coming, right? Curl your toes under and sit back on your heels. Can't do that? Well, you know what? If that's too hard, you come up on your knees. Come up on your knees. Listen to your bodies. Thank you very much. On behalf of your bodies, if something I'm asking you to do ever creates pain, strain is different. If you have pain, just sit back. Okay, that will do. Take your knees wide apart, flatten the tops of your feet. Okay, now really go slowly because after that stretch, we could get a little bit of a cramp. So send your butt back towards your heels, nice and slow, nice and slow. You're stretching the front of the foot, the ankle now. Take your time and then release your torso between your thighs. If you're able, rest your forehead on the floor. If not, you make a pillow with your forearms or stack your fists, whatever works for you today. Breathing into the top of your ankles. Inhaling, come on up, draw your knees together, and let's do that fun exercise one more time. So again, you can be up on your knees. You're going to get a nice stretch. Remember, your plantar fascia goes from your heel to your toes, so this is a great stretch for plantar fascia. Anything with itis is inflammation. So bursitis, arthritis, plantar fasciitis, they're all inflammation. And you can look at your diet. That's a good help to have more of an anti-inflammatory diet. You know what that stuff is. It's going to be all the living foods, foods that come out of the earth. Now, yeah, the nightshades, they can create inflammatory situations. Okay, if you can now, flatten the tops of your feet one more time. And rather than take your knees wide apart, now if you have knee issues, of course, you're not coming back on your knees and you know who you are. So you could come into melting heart, puppy dog. I think we did this last week. This is a great stretch for the shoulders. And if you feel you'd like to have that, go for it. Otherwise, come into proper child's pose, bringing your buttocks down around your heels, your chest onto your thighs. And once again, if your forehead can rest on the floor, go for it. If not, Add some height with your arms or stacked fists. And if your forehead's on the floor, bring your arms beside your body. Okay. Come on up on your knees. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders and your knees underneath your hips. Your feet should be very alive by now. On an exhale, round your spine, tuck your chin, drop your tail, and pull your bellies in. On an inhale, curl your toes under, hollow out your lower back, lifting your tail, lengthening through your neck, eyes up towards your third eye, Ajna Chakra. Exhale, flatten the tops of your feet, point your toes back, tuck your chin, pull your bellies in. Really feel the stretch in your back. And inhale, curl your toes under, hollow out your lower back, lifting your tail, lengthening through your neck without cranking. Last time, exhale, flatten the tops of your feet, round your spine. Be sure you're pressing all 10 fingers into the mat. Tuck your chin, pull your bellies in. Inhale, curl your toes under. Lifting head, lifting tail, hollow out the lower back, and return to neutral, leaving your toes curled under. There's one fruit fly in this room, and it obviously likes me. Oh, boy. Okay, anyway, lift your knees off the floor. Engage your core. We're focusing on our feet, toes, ankles in this class, but with yoga, you get all kinds of benefits in every single class, even though the spotlight's on the toes. Okay, lift your hips up. Lift your hips up. And then press your chest towards your thighs. Keep your knees bent, please. Belly towards your thighs, pressing all 10 fingers into the mat. And now press your left heel towards the floor and really come up onto the toes of the right foot. So you're stretching the back of the left leg, the Achilles tendon, really important to keep that baby stretched because when you tear it, there is nothing but time to heal. And bend the opposite leg, coming up onto the toes of the left foot. Pressing the right heel towards the floor. Feel the stretch through the calf, the back of the knee, the Achilles tendon. Changing one more time. Bending the right leg, straightening the left. Relax your neck, please. Aligning your ears with your inner arms. And last time. And then we're going to take a little break on our backs. In just one moment. Okay, coming into a neutral down dog, lift your right leg up, tip it over to the left, and look under your armpit. Hello, foot. Can you see it? And back down. Other leg comes up, tip it over, tip your left leg over to the right, look at your foot. So you're looking under your armpit, and back, and come on down onto your backs. Yay, huh? Okay. Draw your knees up in towards your chest. Do a little rocking, maybe from side to side, or making circles on your back. Noticing the feeling of your feet. And then extend your left leg out in front. Keep your right knee bent. Interlock your fingers 2 inches below the knee. Now avoid the rib cage by bringing the knee to the outside so the knee points towards your armpit. Keep your shoulder blades and shoulders, if possible, on the floor. Now, point your foot and flex it. Point flex, point and flex, rotate, making circles, change the direction. So this is like lubricating the 33 joints in your right foot or whichever foot you're working with. Okay, now bring your left hand to the outside of your right knee and draw that knee across your body and extend the right arm out to the right side. Now you're feeling probably an intense stretch through the hip, the thigh, the glute muscles. If you are not, or if you can handle a little more, then draw your knee up towards your shoulder. So that would be your right knee coming up towards your left shoulder. And breathe into it. If you're at your max, stay there, breathe. Remember your 1-2 breath, where you breathe in for either 1, 2, or 3, and you exhale twice as long. It's not about mastering the poses in yoga. It's about feeling what's going on in your body when you're practicing, knowing that these are tools for your overall well-being and your ability to be fully functional. So it's never about, oh my gosh, am I doing this right? Safe, yes, that's important. Okay, bring that knee back over into the center. Once again, pull it into your chest, straighten that right leg, reach up for your ankle. You can keep your foot relaxed here. It doesn't need to be pointed or flexed. As you inhale in place, please feel your shoulder blades on the mat. As you exhale, pull the leg towards you and bring your head, neck, and shoulders off the mat and towards your right leg. Maybe bringing your chin to your shin, your nose to your knee. Whatever's working there, we're stretching, obviously, the hamstrings here. But any time we can get our feet up in the air, and I highly recommend it, you let the blood flow back and away from the areas where it will pool in your feet and your ankles. And then release the leg as you lower your head to the floor. Bring your arms to your side. Use your muscles to slowly lower the right leg back down towards the mat. Very slowly, you're activating your lower abs, rectus, abdominis, your hip flexors, which we need for climbing stairs, getting up out of chairs, and of course, your quadriceps, the front of your thighs. Okay, inhale, in place, exhale, and draw your left knee up, interlock your fingers, avoid your rib cage by pointing that knee towards your left armpit, and let's point the left foot. Flex, point, flex, point, flex, point, and flex, rotating like an oil and lube job for your ankle joints. Imagine if your ankles change the direction, were just slabs of cement. I mean, you just, never mind the weight of it, but you would have no flexibility in an area where if you want to walk well, run, move, play, sports, anything at all, we don't think about it until there's a problem. And then that's all we think about when there's a problem. So yoga is proactive to help avoid problems or get over them. Now place your right hand on the outside of your left knee. Extend your right arm out to the side and roll over onto your right hip, stretching through the outer thigh, the iliotibial band. which is another place where we have strong fascia. So again, this fascia is containing the muscles and joining the hip with the knee, as the fascia of the foot joins the heel with the toes. So again, if you're not feeling enough, draw the knee a little bit higher up, but breathe into whatever part of your hip or thigh or glute is feeling the most tightness, i.e. tension, i.e. stress. All the same stuff, but simply by stretching and breathing into it, we can let go of the physical or the emotional tension that we shove into our junk drawer called the hips. Notice as you hold, being a little more yin in your practice, that you are able to release more. If you're making a shopping list or thinking about what somebody said yesterday, well, that's not the end of the world, but what it means is you don't get to notice the progress, the release in your body. And then roll onto your back and bring that left knee into your chest, and then reach up as you straighten your left leg towards the ankle with your hands. Reach up as high as you can. You're not going to straighten your leg. You're going to keep a soft bend in it. Some of you may want to straighten your legs, but you don't need to at all. As you breathe in, inhale, feel your shoulders on the mat, your chest open, your collarbones as long as possible. On an exhale, pull the leg towards you as you lift your head, neck, and shoulders off the mat, bringing your leg as close to your face as you are able to. Breathe into those hamstrings. And lower your upper body down. Release the grip around your ankle. Lengthen your leg as you slowly lower it back down towards the earth. Take your time. You use more muscles when you slow it all down. Strengthening, stretching to release and to build. And then bring your arms to your side. Turn your palms up in the open and receiving position. Tuck your shoulder blades under your heart. Reach your heels away from you. Reach your fingertips down towards your feet. Tuck your chin in towards the center of your chest. Bring your heels together and let your feet splay out. And just take a moment to allow the benefits of your performance to be integrated. Breathing the 1-2 breath. Feeling stressed out, feeling overwhelmed, return. I'm not saying that you are now, I'm just reminding you. Can't sleep at night, think about your breath. I also really find comfort in the mantra. So on the breath in, hum on the way out. So the odd night when I struggle to get to sleep or I've been woken up by something, these are just two of the things I'll do. I'll focus on my breathing, breathing in for 1, breathing out for 2, breathing in so, exhaling hum. And the more you practice these things, the more it's like keeping a toolbox at home. You keep all your tools in a box, you know where to get them. So the more you practice, the more you remind yourself, you'll remember these tools. Okay, bring your knees in towards your chest once again, and bring your hands inside of your legs. Take hold of your insteps. Now, you may have to lower your feet to grab your insteps, but once you have a hold of your insteps, can you bring your ankles directly over your knees? And your knees are just outside of your rib cage. Your chin is tucked in towards your chest to lengthen the back of your neck. So you're holding your insteps, putting a little pressure, reminding arches to be arches. Nice safe stretch for your hamstrings, which are important to allow you to sit up straight with ease. Not to mention that stretched hamstrings, like other muscles, reduce the chance for injury when they're stretched, when they're tight. It's like an old tree. In the wind, it'll break. The new tree is still flexible and it bends in the wind. Okay, release your left leg and straighten it and interlock your fingers, one on each side of the right foot of the arch. You're keeping the knee bent. The knee is almost in your armpit. And then you're going to lengthen your left leg. I want you to point the toe now. Point the toe, point as you slowly lower that leg down towards the floor. Pointing the foot, pointing it, slowly lowering it. And you don't need to touch the floor, but once you're almost at the bottom, flex your foot and slowly raise that left leg with the foot flexed. One more time, point the foot a lot. Feel that stretch in the front of your ankle. Slowly lower the leg. Breathing. And flex the foot and slowly bring it back up. And change. Bend your left leg, straighten your right. Make sure the knee is outside of the rib cage. The knee is close to your armpit. You're interlocking your fingers around your left arch. So the ankle should be directly over the knee. You're going to point the right foot, lengthen the leg, and slowly lower that leg down towards the floor. Now, if you get a cramp in your calf, as I am right now, just release it and then come back. Okay, flex that foot as you slowly raise it and point the foot, slowly lowering the leg. And then flex the foot, slowly bringing the leg up. Straighten both legs now. Can you locate your block and place the block underneath your sacrum and just get your legs up in the air. Just place them up in the air. We might do this again at the end of the class if we have the time, but I just want you to know the importance, and I mentioned it earlier. When you feel exhausted, you've been on your feet all day, the best thing you could do, besides the shiatsu foot massage machine that I have, is to just get your legs up in the air. Get your bum up a little bit. You can put your legs up against the wall, but once you support your legs, pretty easy to hold your feet up in the air. Okay, and that will do. Remove the block. Bring your hands underneath the backs of your thighs or roll over onto your side, whatever your choice is, and use your back arm to press yourself up, top arm I should say. Okay, Come on over onto your knees, curl your toes under, roll back onto the soles of your feet, walk your hands back, let your head hang, and slowly roll up one vertebra at a time. So again, this is all about feet. So we're going to do a vinyasa of standing postures, and we're going to really pay attention to our tootsies. All right, come on up to the fronts of your mats. We'll start in Virabhadrasana 1 as opposed to 2. Okay, so Virabhadrasana 1. Step your right foot about 2.5 to 3 feet apart, and then walk your front foot towards the outside of your mat. This allows you to keep your torso, your shoulders, and your chest square onto the front of your mat. Bend your front foot. Now, feel the big toe mount, the baby toe mount, and both corners of your heel, of your front foot, rooted into the floor. Now on your back foot, I want you to focus a little more on the ball of your big toe, the big toe mount, your baby toe mount, and the outside of your foot. That helps to lift your arch in the back, and this is the anchor of your posture. Inhale, sweep the arms up, keep your shoulders down, keep your shoulders directly over your hips. You're not leaning your torso forward. Breathing, looking up, lifting up, not your shoulders, but just thinking energy up. And now take your arms behind your back, interlock your fingers, feel really rooted and grounded through that back foot. Bring your shoulder blades together, lift your heart centers and your eyes up. Keep that front knee bent, keep your back leg straight. Exhale, forward folding from the tops of your legs, coming into humble warriors. Let your heads hang, bringing your torso inside of your front thigh. Relax your neck, let your head hang. And now release your arms towards the floor, tenting your fingertips on the floor. Now, are you able to straighten your front leg any amount? You may wish to bend your back leg, but as you bend your back leg, there's a tendency to lower the arch. So even if you're bending your back leg, please continue to press the toe mount of the baby toe and the outside of the heel of the foot of your back leg. Keep pressing that into the floor so you maintain an arch. Okay. Inhale, sweep the arms in front, and let's come back into Warrior 1. Inhale, straighten your legs, and release your arms, and give your legs a good shake out. Let's do the other side, stepping your left leg back about 2.5, 3 feet. So it's not as wide a stance, but your front foot should still be 90 degrees forward, and then walk your front foot over to the outside of your mat. This will allow you to square your hips, your chest, and your shoulders with the front of your mat. Now bend your front knee. Make sure your ankle's lining up with the heel of your front foot, or the knees directly over the ankle. Either way. Press into the heel of the back foot, the outside of the back foot to lift the arch, and the mount of the baby toe. Inhale, sweep the arms up, shoulders stay down, shoulders stay over your hips. Breathing. Energy in those fingertips. And then slowly take your arms behind your back. Can you interlock your fingers the opposite way you did it last time? You'll just feel the difference, because there's typically a way we like to do things and we always do it the same. Just change it up. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Looking up, lifting up, and then carefully, because you're balancing, slowly fold, keeping the front knee bent. Feel your toes pressing into the mat, and slowly bring your torso inside of your front thigh. Arms up, whatever amount you can lift. Relax your neck, let your head stretch out your cervical vertebra, and then release your fingertips to the floor. And then let's try and straighten that front leg. Parsvottanasana, front angle bend. You may notice a difference from one side to the other. I think I tore my hamstrings, tore them real good. I think they were the right ones, which makes them a little less stable and therefore able to stretch a little more on the right side. But I don't recommend it as a way of becoming stretchier. And then bend that front knee. Inhale, sweep the arms up, come back into warrior one. Notice the work of the feet and the ankles in your standing postures. Inhale, straighten the legs, lower your arms, give your legs a good shake out. Okay, warrior two. Step your right leg back 1 leg length. So that's going to be a little bit further apart than last time. The heel of the front foot creates a straight line through the arch of your back foot. This is really important. So straight line for the heel between the arch. You got it now. Yepper. Yeah, and your back foot. Perfect, Liz. Inta, just bring that back foot a little bit forward. So it's not 45 degrees out, it's more like 60 degrees forward. So it wasn't to bring it closer, it was to angle your foot. Angle your back foot so your toes are pointing more forward. And then take your stance a little bit wider apart. Okay, bend your front knee. Let's start here. Again, your ankle is lining up with your heel, and you can see your big toe inside of your knee. This is really important because that knee wants to collapse all the time. Slap it. Stay over. Okay, now, this is where you really get to focus on your arches, everybody. Press into the outside of that back foot. I saw your arch go up. Yeah, press into the outside of both feet, okay? And then make sure that knee stays out. These inner thigh adductor muscles will be engaged. Inhale, sweep the arms up to shoulder height. Exhale, lower your shoulders, lengthen your neck, and fix your gaze over your front fingertips. And if you're feeling any torquing in your core, which by the way, makes sense. Some guy named Scott, who's a walking coach in the beach, says the core is really important for walking. Yes, Scott. So we did 3 classes of core work. You can go back and do them again. They're very important. Okay, lower your back arm, down your back leg, but reach up with that front arm. Reach up, stretch up, look up. Exalted, peaceful warriors. One more breath in, reaching, exhale, come back into warrior two, and now bring your front forearm onto your front thigh. Take that back arm down. This is so safe to do this, down, around, and then over your ear. Blossom your heart centers to the side. Straighten that top arm, reaching with your fingertips forward, reaching, stretching, nice. Breathe, and on an inhale, we're going to straighten the front leg, and we're going to straighten our arms, one straight up and one straight down, coming into Trikonasana. Nice, Liz. So your front leg is mostly straight, not locked, but mostly straight. You're looking sideways. Straighten your front leg. Is that Martha back there? Your front leg straight. Yep. All right, inhale, come on up. Let's pivot and do the other side. But get your alignment just right. The heel of your front foot creates a straight line through the arch of your back foot. Your front foot is 90 degrees forward. Your back foot is about 20 degrees forward. Well, it's more than 45, let's put it that way. I guess I should call it 60, should I? Math was never my strong subject. Okay, now bend that front knee. You know, eventually, when you're in Virabhadrasana 2, you eventually would like to perhaps see your front thigh so flat that you could put something on it, but that's quite a stretch. Meanwhile, make sure that knee, you can see your big toe inside of your knee. That's really important. You can check on that anytime, but that's super important. Once again, press into the outsides of your feet, but make sure your big toe mounts are pressing in, your baby toe mounts outside of your feet. Inhale, sweep the arms up to shoulder height. Fix your gaze over your middle fingers. Lift your torso out of your hips. There's a tendency to sink into our hips. Lift it up. And on an exhale, when you lower your shoulders, lengthen your neck. Remember, you're keeping your head centered right over the center of your shoulders. All of your fingers are engaged. Have a look at your back arm, that it's the same height as your front. And then lower your back arm down your back leg. Reach that front arm up, reaching, stretching, looking up. Breathe. One more breath in to stretch up. Exhale. Come back into Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. And now, bring your front forearm onto your front thigh. Look at your back arm, and let's make a semicircle down in front of your body, slowly over your shoulder, especially if you have shoulder issues. Take your time. This is where your knee may wish to collapse. Your forearm is on your front thigh. You're not in Trikonasana yet? No, yeah. Okay, now keep pressing into your back foot. That's the anchor of this posture. Reach your arm over your head. Straighten it as much as you can. Blossom your heart. Your heart's not facing the floor. It should be facing the side. So reach yourself to the side. Nice, everybody. Bring your arm over your ear, Kelly. Yep, palm faces the floor. Now, straighten your front leg. Bring your bottom arm so your fingers point towards the floor. Now we're coming into Trikonasana, triangle pose. Stretching up, reaching up with that top arm. If you reach down, you can feel a little gnarly through your core, through your obliques. So lift up, reach up, stretch up. Your arms straight up, Inta. Reach to the ceiling, yep. Inhale, come back to the center. Exhale, lower your arms and bring your legs together. How are we doing? How about tree pose? You know, I've said it before. I always used to think that trees without leaves weren't that interesting. Now I find them very interesting. You get to see their shape. They're naked. Okay, so tree pose, Vrikshasana. Now, as I've said before, balance pose, and clearly this is where your feet, and we've done a lot of warm up here now on the feet. This is where the weight and the balance and all of your 26 foot muscles, 33 joints, 100 muscles, ligaments and tendons, all going to work together here to perhaps allow you to balance in Vrikshasana. So I'll do the mirror image. So come on, shift your weight onto your right foot. Okay? So your weight's on your right foot, lift your left off the floor. Can you bring that foot, grab the ankle, bring the heel into your inner thigh. Now if you have slippery pants on, not gonna work, or in my case, if my feet are a little bit cold, but you press your foot into your thigh, you press your thigh into your foot. So you gotta press both of them together. Bring your hands into prayer. Open your branches, focus your gaze, or hold the foot there, lift the other arm up. Nice, everybody. And give that leg a shake out. And when you're ready, now, if balance today is not happening for you, you can still just come up onto the toes, press your foot against your ankle, or press it against the calf, depending on what's going on. Okay, so let's try the other pied, your other foot. Okay, so take your time. Wait for your own inner cue for balance. It's your schedule here. But make sure you breathe. So, with your weight now on your left foot, lift that right leg up and just hold it here. In fact, that may be all you're going to do. But when you're ready, grab the ankle. And you're pressing your foot into your thigh, and you're pressing your thigh into your foot. You may need to hold your foot. Open your branches. And releasing, give your legs a good shake out. Turn sideways on your mat. Spread your legs wide apart. Place your hands on your hips. Inhale, lifting the head. Exhale, folding from your hips, only halfway. Release your hands. Tent your fingers below your face. On an inhale, sweep the left arm up, reaching, twisting, turning. Now, once again, can you focus on the outsides of your feet? Your big toe mount, your baby toe mount. Exhale, float that arm down. Inhale, sweep the arms up, reaching up, stretching up, looking up. Exhale, float it down. Let's lunge over to the left side, bringing bum close to heel. Stretching those inner thigh, adductor muscles. Inhale, up. Exhale, over to the other side. Inhale, into the center. Walk your feet in. And then if you need to, put socks on or anything you need to, and bring your body into a full and complete state of relaxation. Now, I want to recommend, when we do this time, if you have 2 blocks, and I'll give you yours back, is that, let me just show everybody here. You're gonna, when you lie down, I want you to have your blocks right up against your cheeks and under your thighs. Oh, I was gonna give these back to you, okay? So when you're lying down, thanks, Carmen, just place them like that and let your thighs rest over those blocks, okay? So right up against your cheeks, and if you don't have blocks at home, if you have a bolster, a cushion, or anything at all. And by the way, when you're waiting for your soup to be made, another thing you can do with your toes is try to, well, nobody has alleys anymore, do they? Pick up towels with your toes, all right? That really brings some life. So you're picking up the edges of a towel or a cloth. Hey, next time something falls on the floor, try and pick it up with your feet. Kidding. Okay, so take a moment to sort yourselves out. Do not avoid Shavasana, in spite of what you may think. You don't know what you're missing when you don't allow your body to absorb the benefits of what you have just done. So close your eyes and let your eyeballs sink into their sockets. Separate the biting surfaces of the teeth. Have your arms beside your body with your palms facing up in the open and receiving position. Allow your feet, your hard-working, indisposable feet, let them relax. Allow them to splay out to the side. Feel your shoulder blades. Let your bum and your lower back let go. Completely relax. Become aware of your breath. Letting your exhalation be twice as long as your inhalation. If we were meant to stay in one place, we'd have roots instead of feet. And a quote from Leonardo da Vinci: "The human foot is a masterpiece of engineering and a work of art." I hope today you will have a heightened appreciation for the work that your feet do. And just do one thing this week. Spend some time walking barefoot without a destination and just feel the heel, then the surface of the foot, the plantar fascia, the ball of the foot, and the big toe as you slowly walk mindfully, appreciatively, gratefully. Today's the first day of the rest of your life. Namaste.